on this computer. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Jeanette McLeod, and I'm a Platinum Leader with Young Living Essential Oils. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years, and I love it today just as much as the day I started sharing actively. Tonight, it's really my passion to share the nitty-gritty, the nuts and bolts with people who want to pursue a business. I think that the basic tangibles are the most important thing to really get down pat with our business, and that's truly the only way we're going to duplicate and grow. So my big focus has been and will continue to be how to share beginner classes with people, 101 classes, whatever you want to call them, and the importance of that. And I've talked about the importance of doing your beginner classes and that staying consistent and continually taprooting and looking for other people that are willing to share and host and also open up their network for you to share to their people. So I've recorded the last two. Feel free to look at those on our YouTube channel. And tonight I'm going to talk about finding your niche. Now, truly, there are some basic concepts that we have to focus on that will bring us success. And that key concept is sharing starter kits with new people. That is the way to success. That is the only way to actually grow our business. If we are not sharing a starter kit with a new prospect, then we are really not doing an income producing activity. If we're not following up with a member to ensure their happiness, we are not doing an income producing activity. So that is definitely the focus. But that said, there are ways in which we can find things that work best for us. And that is finding your niche. So some people are terrified to do big classes. So, you know, they often lean toward maybe a living room of perhaps 4 people or 5 people. Me personally, I like to have 4 to 6. I don't love to have a group that's about 10. I've found that if I have a group that size, I lose them. They start talking amongst themselves and it's just not productive. So I like to have a class of 4 to 6. And that works for people. Some people that really works well for. But I want to encourage you that if that isn't you, that's okay. You might be somebody who really does well with one-on-one. So if you know somebody and you're like, I don't want to ask them to host a class, I'm a little apprehensive, I haven't done very many, then feel free to invite them over for a play date or for a coffee to go out and take your kit with you and say, look, I found something here that is really awesome and I really want you to take a look at this. So you can do a class or you can do a one-to-one. Now, I proceed with caution when talking about the make and take. Some people have found really great success finding their niche with the make and take. But again, I encourage you, if you're a DIYer and you love to share that way with people, that's totally cool and totally fine, as long as your main goal and your main focus is to share that premium starter kit with anybody who is new there and get them started on how to incorporate oils into their daily life. Now, finding your niche, I want to encourage you too that this isn't a new, Young Living isn't necessarily a new job we take over, okay? It's not that we're going from one job and we're getting this job. This network marketing is really something that is meant to be done part-time on the side along with your regular life. And that's why it's such a beautiful thing, because you can work full-time at your job and part-time on your fortune. That's exactly what we did. I worked part-time at this while Kevin worked full-time in the oil field. I did what I could where I could, and now we have built that fortune where we have that flexibility in our life, okay? So it was done right alongside me taking the girls to ballet classes, piano lessons, us going camping. It was done right alongside. So it's looking at, and I'm stealing this from somebody else, what brings you joy? I want you to think about what brings you joy. What are you doing already that you love to do where you can incorporate those oils? Do you go to the dog park? Do you take your dogs there? Have you been thinking you should sign your dog up for that flyball class? Well, then do it. Live your life, do what brings you joy, and you will find ways to incorporate the oils and help people around you. So that there is finding your niche. If you like to crochet and you know there's a market out there, find that crochet club, go after it, attack that with all you've got, and go in and see who you can help in that crochet club. So do what you're doing already in your life, what brings you joy, and continue doing that, because that is what will be sustainable. Now, so there you'll see it's really layered, right? That bottom layer goal, that bottom layer purpose is definitely sharing the premium starter kit with people who haven't heard about it. That's the bottom line. And how you do it can look like so many different things. We have shared oils with people in airports. We've shared oils with people in campgrounds. We've just anywhere that you least expect it, going about your daily life. So remember, it's not that you've left one job to take this job on. This one is really meant to be woven into the fibers of your life. All right, so that is finding your niche. I'm going to use this as a springboard to talk about something else, and this might be somewhat controversial, so I apologize ahead of time. It's not to offend anybody, but it is to raise some awareness and some thought around this. And so finding your niche, doing this as you live your life. However, we have this network marketing is becoming so popular and so abundant that we have lots of people in network marketing companies, whether it be Norwex or Epicure or Pampered Chef or whatever the case may be. Now, I fully support network marketing in general, and I think that if you found your home, hey, pitter patter, have at it, good for you, and you can find success there. Do I actively post on my Facebook all the other companies I'm buying from or supporting? Do I actively host parties for all of those other companies? No, I don't. And there is something to that. Now, whether or not you're just supporting a friend, or you really love the product. Hey, I buy from companies, network marketing companies that I love. Absolutely, because they've got great products. I know network marketing has great products. Do I need to advertise that? No, because what I've found in the 4.5 years I've done this is it confuses your audience. It confuses your friends, it confuses your members, and then they end up not taking you nearly as seriously. Now, I'm a big believer in looking at people that I want to emulate. I'm a big believer at looking at people I want to, I want to be like them, right? They have success. They have more success than I do. Therefore, I want to follow them in what they're doing. I find somebody who has great financial savvy, and I'm going to do what they do. I find somebody who's a kick-ass parent. I'm going to do what they do. I'm going to read the books they do. I find somebody who's successful in network marketing, also known as Adam Green or Chelsea Flaman, and I am going to do what they do. Got to Royal Crown Diamond and Diamond. I want to know what they're doing, and guess what? They're not hosting Pampered Chef parties for people on Facebook. So that's just food for thought right there, okay? Because I do understand wanting to support other people, but food for thought, if you want to get to a place of Royal Crown Diamond, these are things that Royal Crown Diamonds are not doing. So I just really wanted to put that out there. So yes, you can carry on and live your life, but remember, you are in the eye of the public. You are still wanting people to fall in love with you as a Young Living representative. And that's where that focus really needs to be. So just going to encourage you to kind of think on that and take it for what it's worth. And then the other thing too is I wanted to talk about creating conversation with those two people every day. That is such an important part of what we're doing, is creating conversation. Now, remember, when you are prospecting people, it really just does come down to collecting friends and being sincerely interested in human beings. That's all it boils down to. Be like, I don't have anybody to talk to. It basically boils down to that. When you're out in the grocery store living your life, then that's a great time to be curious about other people. It's when are you done your shift? It's a great day. Do you get to enjoy any of it? You want to talk to them, and you want to be interested and curious in other people. All right, I'm just going to come here and look and see. Claudia says, often people get scared and think they need to do this full time. Amen, sister. People think it's something you'll do for a few months. Now, that's another thing too, right? Because so many do jump ship looking for their home, that's what ends up happening, is that they're going to do it for a few months and then they're going to move on to something else, or the Jamberry didn't pan out and didn't work, and now I'm on to promoting something else. Hey, I get it. That happens. People do have to look for their homes sometime, and that's okay. So that's why if we're confident Young Living's our home, then promote it and only promote it. Yvonne, post on Facebook should be part of your brand. 5 things that speak to who you are, and trying not to confuse the brand message is important. I couldn't agree with that more. I've heard this time and time again at convention and at GoPro. This is really huge when it comes to social media in particular. You're branding yourself, right? People want to fall in love with you. They don't want to fall in love with Young Living. They don't need to fall in love with Young Living. My goal is for people to look and be like, oh, I like Jeanette. Oh, she's a Christian. I'm a Christian. Oh, she likes to camp. I love to camp. Oh, she has 2 beautiful daughters. I have kids. I really like Jeanette. Oh, she likes essential oils. I bet I would. I should ask her about that. That's the goal that we're trying to achieve right there, is like those, what are the things that we love to do? And it can be anything. We've got tons of, I don't even know, is it yogis or yogis? Because I don't even know. But we've got tons of people that love to do yoga, and we have, or who love to read books, or like, there's just so many different components you can post about. Pick your 5 and rotate them through, because really your Young Living post, should never have a call to action, should never say, contact me for more information. They know that they can do that. People know how to private message. And then also, it's you just being that lovable, wonderful person that you are, and every 5th or so post is going to be about Young Living. I didn't actually mean to talk about social media, but this is a great time to include some social media tips. And another tip for this would also be to always include a picture and always give a testimonial. If I just say, oh, breathe again, I can't live without it, that doesn't tell anybody anything. It's not useful. And people want to know that, wow, nothing clears my sinuses like this, and I can finally sleep peacefully. That's what people want to know. They don't just want to know that, you can't live without it. So those are a few of the social media tips that we've got. So pick your 5 hot topics that make you, rotate them through, and when you do post Young Living, no call to action, include a picture, and also give a testimonial, because that's what people want to hear. Ask your friends to think about the 5 things. Right, was this done at GoPro Women, I think? Where they talked about like asking your friends when they think of you, what do they think of? And then you can get a really good base on what your 5 should kind of be. But at the end of the day, you want your people to fall in love with you, because as soon as they fall in love with you, they'll fall in love with the things that you're doing. So that really does kind of like, go around the whole idea of finding your niche and also finding your voice on Facebook. And my take on hosting other events, just not something that I see other larger leaders do and in the positions that I want to be in. So I'm focused. I don't confuse my people. They know I'm only Young Living. And trust me, I've been asked time and again, hey, if you host a Usborne book party, I'll do a Young Living party. And I just say, no, that's okay. Like, thank you, but I'd love a catalog. And I'll buy some Usborne books. Like, I don't mind supporting you that way. And I also don't need them to necessarily host a session. I've got other prospects in my pipeline. So as long as we're continuing to talk to people all the time, then we won't feel that, I want to say, that desperation or that need to have them, trade services like that. And then I wanted to talk about creating conversation with people, is being sincerely interested, being sincerely curious. As soon as I just get curious about people, like, I love it. Honestly, what I do is when I'm out, and this is my biggest weapon, is my phone, is when I'm out and I'm talking with people and I'm actually curious, I tell them very authentically, I like you. Can we be Facebook friends? I would love to send you a Facebook friend request. What's your last name? And I get them on Facebook right away, because if they start following me, I already know they're going to love me. So I just need to get them on my Facebook. And honestly, I do, and I have people, and like this comes into the hunting too. If you're genuinely curious about people, you're commenting on them, you're noticing how beautiful their kids are, you're noticing how detailed they are in their party decorations or whatever, and you're building that kind of rapport, it comes back to you in spades, you guys. It comes back to you in spades. And that is such a fun thing. And like, versus hunting people down, I have been very good to follow the 1 to 5 rule. I don't post about Young Living too crazy often. Of course I do, because I'm a platinum leader and I love what I do, but it's not the only thing you see dripping on my newsfeed, right? And I have people from 15 years ago, when I got my degree in college, messaging me finally now, 4.5 years after being into this, saying, okay, I'm ready for my starter kit. What? Because I didn't hunt them. I just was over here. Jeanette was over here living her life, doing her thing, with or without you. And now I'm glad you're on board, you know? So just keep that in mind too, that when you're portraying yourself on Facebook, people are watching. And I noticed this, and I bet you can agree to this. One big thing, yeah, I've unfollowed tons of people who just call me if you need more Tupperware, call me, PM me for details. It's totally an unfollow there. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I think I was doing parties 15 years later. Oh, it doesn't matter, it's not that important. But the point is that we want people are watching this. Oh, this is what I was going to say about Facebook posts. So you might be able to relate to me on this. It's always interesting, like what you're posting about, which gets likes, and who likes on certain posts, okay? So one thing that I've noticed is when I do a Young Living post, okay, and it says, oh my gosh, there's a kit sale, it's 10% off, I'll throw this in, let's set up a date, right? So I'm not going to do a call to action. I'll just say, this is a great deal, I don't want you to miss out, something like that, something generic, right? I get like 5 likes. Huh, interesting. 5 likes, and guess what? All 5 of those likes are Young Living people, okay? Interesting observation. Then I post about Heidi going to my 5-year-old going to the hospital for a pacemaker checkup. 150 likes and loves, you guys. I am blown away every single time. That's the amount of people that are watching me. There was 145 people that saw my Young Living call to action post about the 10% off the kit that simply scrolled by. That's a huge thing right there. So this really makes me sit up and go, okay, we have to pay attention to how and what we're presenting ourselves and posting about, right? So anyways, I kind of thought that was cool. Brian Carruthers talks about having a full pipeline, so there is no desperation. Yes, exactly. Can we be Facebook friends? And you know what? I've never had anybody say no, because it's so passive. It is so passive. They can A, not accept my friend request, they can unfollow me, or they can just snoop and creep anytime they want to. So it's definitely an easy way to keep people in the pipeline. But then again, and this is for another day, this is where follow-up becomes super important, where you remember their name, you get on their Facebook and you private message them and say, hey, it was so great meeting you. Hey, we should go for coffee, and just being more curious, taking it a step further. Anyways, I hate to run these things too long because your time is valuable, and I like to get just little snippets of practical information. I hope this is beneficial for you in any way. I am going to, thanks for the feedback, guys, too. I appreciate that. I always like being reminded of what's working for you and what's successful. For those of you that don't know, Yvonne Kuchta just went platinum last month, so you have the pleasure of having 2 platinum leaders on this call right now. I don't think Courtney's here. And of course, we've got beautiful gold and silver leaders too, who are busting a move. So it's nice to see everybody here. Yeah, I really love being here too. I think that this is nice to see everybody's face and know that we're all here doing the same thing, sharing oils and changing lives, and it's a great thing. I'm going to go ahead and cut